Welcome to the Friday Brownie Bites of the Week edition of It's Always Game Day in Cleveland. I'm Daryl Ryder. Let's start with Deshaun Watson's sexual assault lawsuit, which dominated the headlines this week. However, everyone swears the focus for the Browns on Jacksonville, starting with head coach Kevin Stefanki.
We are 100% focused on Jacksonville, 100% focused on going on the road against a good football team, trying to find a way to get a W. Good team. Good players, good coaches. I know Doug well, really good coach. What they do offensively is really challenging. They got a very talented quarterback. We've all seen, we've played against these guys recently, I think December last year, but playmakers on the perimeter, they added to their wide receiver room. Evan Ingram, really good player, was very difficult to cover last year for us, so he's a challenge. Run game, multiple up front, they really can do different things. Defensively, Ryan Nielsen, outstanding coach. Good guys up front, good guys in the back end. They can play coverage, they can play man, they can play zone, they can pressure you, and with great players up front. And then special teams, Heath Farwell, special teams coordinator for them. We were together in Minnesota many moons ago. Does a really nice job with that group. So good kicker, rookie kicker, I think hit a 50-yarder last week. Punter's very good, as we know, and then Duvernay, a returner, we know well. So talented across the board with really good coaches. So we got to have a great work week before getting on that plane.
As for Watson, he denied the allegations and says focusing on football, not going to be a problem for him. However, playing football might be a different story. A very ugly debut for Watson against Dallas last week. It saw him get beat up, hit 17 times, 6 sacks, did not look comfortable on the field.
Focus on football. I focus on keeping the main thing, and that's when I walk into this building, focusing on being the best quarterback I can be, on the game plan, and trying to be better than we were last week so we can get a W. I don't like to make excuses or anything like that. Those 3 hours, 4 hours we're on the field, I got to lock in and do my craft and execute my plan as a quarterback. So, again, I'm not going to sit up here and make any excuses for anything that's off the field. Is what's causing on the field. So, I just got to be better this week, and I will be better, and we're going to continue to grow each and every week to, get to where we want to ultimately be at the end of the year. It's going to be a work in progress for sure. I think, new pieces, new guys, first live football together, it's going to take time. A lot of times if you haven't been with the guys for, multiple years, especially the core group of, skilled guys, then it's going to take a little bit to figure out, all right, what is everyone good at? What are we good at? What are the identity that we want to put out there on the field? And, it might take a couple weeks, and we might find our identity this week. I think each and every week is a great opportunity for us to, go out there and test ourselves against a very, very, very good opponent in Jacksonville in a great environment, and, go out there and see what we can, put out there and try to get a W. The biggest thing, we got to be, successful on first down. We got to start off positive. We got to start the drive. We got to get a first down on the drive. If we got to create some type of success, early in the downs to, be able to open up the playbook and do what we exactly want to do. But, like you said, Jacksonville has an elite front. Walker, Allen, those guys, Armstead, they like to bring the heat. They're very athletic. They're very tough, very fast. And they play super, super hard. And, we got to make sure that we plan to throughout the whistle and, be able to execute down the field if I do break outside the pocket, or even if I'm sitting in the pocket, the receivers got to win their matchups. And, that's the test that we got to make sure that we try to win on Sunday.
A tough week on the injury front. 5 defenders went to injured reserve. Juan Thornhill, Mo Hurst, Mahmoud Diabate, Tony Fields, and Myles Harden. Here's defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz and Denzel Ward on coping with the injury bug.
Yeah, we lost 4 in the same game last year in the Jacksonville game. Jordan Elliott went down with a concussion, and Obo and Mo tore their pecs, and Grant Delpit tore his groin, and Denzel wasn't playing. So nothing new for us. Would say with those injuries, it does give other people some opportunities, and we have some good young players that can step right in. And then when we get those guys back, I expect it to give us a good boost. I think, you know, I was telling our staff the other day, I said we got to treat it like, you know, a month from now, however long it takes, that AB comes down and says, hey, we just traded for Juan Thornhill, or we just traded for Mo Hurst, or we just traded for, you know, Tony Fields, or, you know, Mahmoud, or whoever it is. But you know, it doesn't change our expectations. It doesn't change our standards. Those guys work really hard to come back as soon as they can, and when they do, there'll be a boost for us.
I think we had a lot of practice at the last year with a lot of guys being out, and like I said, it's next man up mentality. So AB, they did a great job of bringing a lot of good talent in here, so I don't think it's going to be much of a fall off. But those are obviously great times that we're going to be losing, and looking forward to getting them back. But we got to find a way to still get a win with guys being out and guys coming in.
Both of these teams are coming off Week 1 losses. Of course, Jacksonville lost to Miami. Meanwhile, the Browns, of course, lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Last season, back in December in Cleveland, the Browns beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Here's what the guys had to say about Lawrence.
He brings confidence, and the man's strong with the ball. He's confident with his legs, and you know, he's definitely got a lot of different angles he can or spots he can put the ball across the field. And hell, he's tall as hell. He can see the entire field. So my man is really a prototypical quarterback as far as his size, his arm strength, his accuracy, and what he can do when he's on the football field. He's definitely a mobile quarterback. He likes to, you know, get out and stretch the field. You know, he'll also get down and make yards with his legs if he has to, but he's looking for that big play. And he can really do both. So, you know, we have to be cognizant of that and you know, playing with that awareness.
Great quarterback, big, strong, fast, great vision, can make any single throw on the field. I think they started off pretty well. The first game, obviously losing, but I think they started off at least that first half very well. Receiver core-wise, they got a lot of great targets. Got a really good rookie, Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram. So they got a lot of talent out there. You know, we treat everybody with respect, no matter, you know, if they're the number 1 receiver, number 4 receiver, you got to treat everybody with respect. This is a very talented league. So guys on every single team, whether you're 4th, 5th on the depth chart, you got to treat everybody with respect. But, you know, they're over there in Jacksonville. They got a lot of great receivers. So we're definitely looking forward to that matchup.
The Browns have never been 0-2 under Kevin Stefanki. In fact, the team is 19-9 following a loss since Stefanki took over in 2020 as head coach. They've lost 2 straight 4 times and had 1 3-game losing streak and 1 4-game losing streak.
Well, he doesn't ride the roller coaster. I know everybody else is riding the roller coaster, but he's the same guy. He's focused. He has one mission this week, and that's go 1-0, however possible. No matter who's out there, it's go 1-0, and that's what he focuses on. He doesn't hear the outside noise. That's what you look for in your leader.
He's a great players coach, and he's always calm. Like, he's never too high, he's never too low. He stays middle of the pack. So I think he did a great job, honestly, of just getting the right guys in the building. First of all, you know, it's always, you know, his message can be anything, but if you don't have the right guys to be able to support that message, then you can't do anything. So I think it's a very good player-led team. We got a lot of vets that won Super Bowls and did a lot of that stuff, so we kind of lean on those guys to kind of lead us. And, you know, you just got to realize it's a very long season.
It helps when you have a coach like that. You know, he's got that bit of his dad in him with that basketball mentality. You know, you don't lose 2 in a row. And you know, just making sure, you know, we attack each and every day. You know, there's no days off, whether it's Monday or Tuesday. We're finding a way to get better. You know, working on our bodies, being in the regen room, you know, focus on you know, play calls, and you know, she's, you know, in constant communication with multiple guys, whether that's leadership or not. You know, making sure that we're focusing on the game, and you know, whether you're getting better physically or mentally, you know, you're trying to make strides on one or the other, you know, daily. And he's always on it, and he's always trying to find a way to, you know, keep us prepared and not letting our heads get too big when we win and not drop too low when we lose.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just, you know, the coaches, it's not just the players. You know, I think it's the whole entire organization. I mean, this organization has been through so much that, you know, that when something like, you know, a loss to the Cowboys in the first game happens, we're able to regroup and be able to understand that we've been through these challenges before, and we know how to overcome it. You know, when you really look at the the greatest teams, a lot of them kind of like lose that like first game. So it's a lot of difficulty early on, and sometimes when you are just having so much success to start off with, you've never really been challenged, never really had that kind of like hurt feel, at least early on. Some teams get smacked when it comes to playoff time. So, I'm not glad that we lost the game, but again, we learn from those mistakes and we find a way to conceptualize it for our benefit. So.
Anytime you lose a game, there is immediate. There might be a little bit more urgency to confront your problems and not gloss over things and self-correct, and to be more determined to go out and correct that. And maybe sometimes when you win, sometimes you can lose that, And when I took over Detroit years ago, that was a team that was used to dealing with failure. They had trouble dealing with success, right? It was like they won a game and it went to our heads really quickly. And particularly the first couple of years, that was a difficult process to go through. Sometimes it's harder to deal with success in this league than it is to a failure. But I think if we do our job as players and as coaches, and you guys write the story of the 2024 Browns, and if this is a successful season for us, I hope that we can all look back and say, you know what, they lost that opener, but in the long run, that was a good thing for this team. And if that's the case, then then we can turn that toward something good. If we fail to correct our issues and confront our problems and confront our execution and those kind of things, then it won't have had the effect that we hope it.
So why is this game so important to both the Browns and Jags? Well, since 1990, only 31 of the 270 teams that started the season 0-2 in the regular season made it to the playoffs. For you quick mathematicians, that's just 11.5%. So that's a wrap. Thanks for watching us on YouTube, downloading and subscribing wherever you get your podcasts, including the free Odyssey app. For my partner, Andy Baskin, I'm Daryl Ryder. Reminding you, it's always game day in Cleveland.